Good morning, everyone. We want to welcome you all to Reading 365. I am Floyd Stokes, Director of the American Literacy Corporation, and we have with us two fantastic readers, and they're going to be sharing stories about Hanukkah, and we're so excited to hear these stories. So first, we have Lauryn. She's a sophomore at CDE, and she loves tennis, skiing. She called for the snow, folks. So you can blame it on Lauryn, okay? And she also loves playing piano. And then we also joined by Brooke, who is a social justice chair at Bethel Temple. And she's also a special educator. And we're glad to have her with us as well. First, we're gonna have Lauryn. She's gonna share stories with us. Lauryn, what do you have to share with us this morning?
I have Sammy Spider's first Hanukkah.
Fantastic, well, thank you.
Okay.
You may start.
Sammy Spider shivered in his web high up on the Shapiro's living room ceiling.
And Brooke, you can stop your video as well.
Look, Mother, he called. What is Miss Shapiro lighting? That's a menorah, she answered Mrs. Spider. The Shapiros are celebrating Hanukkah. They will light one more candle every night for 8 nights. It's beautiful, said Sammy as he lowered himself on a strand of webbing to take a closer look. Be careful, warned Mrs. Shapiro. Don't get too close. And there's the menorah. It was the first night of Hanukkah. Sammy stopped above the shamash, the helper candle that Mrs. Shapiro had used to light the first candle. Mother, the flame feels so good on my cold feet, Sammy said. And there's the shamash, and there's the first candle. Mrs. Shapiro reached into his pocket and handed Josh a bright blue dreidel. There's the dreidel. Sammy hovered above the flame and listened as Mr. Shapiro told Josh the story of the Maccabees and the miracle of the oil. The smell of frying potato latkes filled the room. Josh gave the dreidel a spin and squealed with delight. It was spinning so fast that Sammy felt a little dizzy watching from above. And here's the dreidel spinning so fast. When the candles had melted and the flames flickered out, the Shapiros announced bedtime and took Josh upstairs. It's your bedtime too, Sammy, called Mrs. Shapiro. Sammy climbed the strand of the silk webbing and crawled into a cozy corner. Mrs. Shapiro gently tucked him in. Mother, asked Sammy, do you think I could have a blue dreidel to spin? Silly little Sammy, his mother laughed. Spiders don't spin dreidels, spiders spin webs. On the second night of Hanukkah, Sammy watched expectantly as Mrs. Shapiro helped Josh light 2 candles. His feet were cold and he wanted to warm them near the flame again. Tonight, Mr. Shapiro gave Josh a bright red dreidel. Now he had 2 dreidels to spin. You see, there's the red dreidel. Everyone sang Hanukkah songs and ate donuts filled with sweet red cherry filling. The spinning dreidels made Sammy even dizzier. That night, when Mrs. Spider tucked Sammy into his web, he asked, Mother, do you think I could have a red dreidel to spin? Silly little Sammy, his mother answered. Spiders don't spin dreidels, spiders spin webs. On the third night, Sammy once more warmed his feet above the menorah and watched as the Shapiros used the shamash to light the third candle. They gave Josh a yellow dreidel. Now he had 3 dreidels to spin. There's the yellow dreidel and there's the 3 candles with the shamash. The dreidels twisted and twirled across the floor until the red one dropped, then the blue, and at last the yellow. Mother, could I have a yellow dreidel to spin? Sammy asked at bedtime. Silly little Sammy, she said. Spiders don't spin dreidels, spiders spin webs. Each night, Sammy watched from his warm perch above the shamash. On the 4th night, the Shapiros lit 4 candles and gave Josh a green dreidel. On the 5th night, they lit 5 candles and gave Josh a purple dreidel.
I missed the whole interview.
On the 6th night, they lit 6 candles and gave Josh an orange dreidel. On the 7th night, they lit 7 candles and gave Josh a rose-colored dreidel. Sammy had to raise himself a little higher on his web because his feet were getting hot. On the 8th night, Sammy felt sad as he watched the Shapiros light all 8 candles and give Josh a brown wooden dreidel. I'm gonna miss Hanukkah, he thought. I won't smell the delicious latkes. I won't hear any Hanukkah songs. I won't be able to watch any dreidel spin, all his colorful dreidels. And how will I warm my feet? If only I could just have one dreidel, he thought, as the 8 dreidels danced merrily across the floor. What fun I would have! Then he remembered his mother's words. Spiders don't spin dreidels, Sammy. Spiders spin webs. But when the last candle flickered out and Sammy climbed reluctantly up the web to bed, his mother smiled, handed him a gift, and said, Happy Hanukkah, Sammy. Sammy opened the package and found 8 little socks, one for each night of Hanukkah and one for each of his 8 little feet. Each sock was a different color, and on each one, Mrs. Spider had spun a little dreidel. Sammy pulled on his new socks. There was a blue one, a red one, a yellow one, a green one, a purple one, an orange one, a rose-colored one, and a brown one. He slid happily down the silky strand and began to spin faster and faster and faster. Look, Mother, he shouted. I'm spinning my dreidels, all 8 of them. The end.
Wow, that was so much fun, Lauryn. Thank you so much. We appreciate it greatly. Great job reading. We're gonna discuss this after Brooke shares her book, and it's gonna be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it. So Brooke, what do you have to share with us this morning?
This book is called The Dinosaur on Hanukkah, and it's by Diane Levin Rockwerger, pictures by Jason Wolf.
Thank you.
There's a dino knocking on my door. It's Hanukkah, you see. He's come to decorate our house and celebrate with me. He marches all around the room, as brave as can be, acting out the ancient tale of Judah Maccabee. He helps me wrap some presents with ribbons and with bows. I have a special gift for him. I'm pretty sure he knows. I've hidden it behind the door. My closet's much too full. I've brought him a new sweater of fluffy purple wool. He has a yummy gift for me, chocolate gelt, so sweet, but didn't know that it could melt. It's oozing down his feet. He gobbles up the latkes and juggles them for fun. There's batter on the walls and floor before I say, we're done. He needs help lighting the candles. He knows each night there's more, but once he's lit the shamash, he can only count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that shamash that we learned about from the other story. He drips wax on the counter, knocks matches on the floor. He's making such an awful mess. I show him to the door. He's back to play the dreidel game. Nun, gimel, hay, and shin. But he pouts, so when he loses, I just have to let him win. When Hanukkah is over, I give his tail a tweak. Don't wait a year to celebrate. Shabbat comes every week. The end.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you both so much. And Lauryn, you can return now. So Lauryn, you know, the book that you shared, you can unmute your mic as well. The book that you shared reminds me a lot of an Eric Carle kind of style, kind of pictures, right? But, you know, what is your favorite part of Hanukkah?
My favorite part of Hanukkah is probably when everyone comes together and lights the candles, and there are 8 candles, and 9 including the shamash, which is the tall candle.
Okay, fantastic. And Brooke, why don't you give us a little background on Hanukkah? It's also considered the Festival of Lights, right?
Yes, it is the Festival of Lights.
Mhm.
So back in the years ago, in the ancient times, there was oil, and it only had lasted on the lights. They thought it would last for one night, but it lasted for 8 nights, and that is why it was a miracle, the miracle of Hanukkah, and that's why we light 8 nights on our menorah, or Hanukkah, as we say also in Hebrew. And it's really just a fun holiday for us. It falls definitely around the time of Christmas, which is such an important, blessed holiday for those that celebrate. But it happens to be just a fun, more of a minor holiday, and it's usually celebrated mostly for the children. And they receive gelt, which are the chocolate coins that you often see, that's very popular, and presents. So it's a fun holiday and enjoyed with family for the most part. This year, unfortunately, we can't all be together, but usually a time when families come together and, like Lauryn said, lighting the menorah and being together. And eating latkes too is another specialty. That's our fried potato pancakes that are delicious.
Very good. So do I get some of those here? Can we send some to me? You know, we're right down the road, right?
Absolutely could. I certainly have a recipe I can share with you all, but they're easy to make and very delicious.
Very good. And so it lasts 8 days, correct?
Correct.
And what day are we on now?
So we started Thursday evening was our first candle. And tonight will be our Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5th candle tonight, Lauryn?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 5th. Last night was the 4th, so it goes quickly, but each night we light a candle. And so it started on sundown Thursday, and we light the candles at sundown typically each night. We say a few blessings as well, just a couple short prayers with it, and usually enjoy presents, opening presents, and being together. So
the dreidel is like a toy, right? Because I see that a lot in a lot of images.
It is like a toy, and it's a dreidel game that you can play, and you can earn each of the sides of the 4 sides of the dreidel has a Hebrew letter, and each one signifies a different amount that when you spin, that you either take or earn the money, or the gelt, we call that. And it's also just a fun game.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Now, Lauryn, you know, you're a student, you know, you're online, and you know, you're going to school, and what do you know, after graduation, have you thought about what you'd like to do after graduation?
Not currently. Definitely I want to go to college, but I haven't decided after that. Mm-hmm.
And you know why I asked? Because we talked about it offline, and I know your granddad and your dad, they're eye doctors, right? Yeah. Are you leaning towards that or not really?
I don't know. Maybe.
Wonderful. Well, fantastic. Tell them, especially your granddad, I know him more. Tell him I said hi, please.
I will.
All right, very good. And Brooke, what do you do, you know, for a living? You're a special education teacher, right?
Yes. So currently I work for a company, we're called Marikey, and we are basically a national company that has different aspects of the company. We deal with all levels of children and adults with autism and special needs. And so I happen to work with the population of the children that have autism, and I run a program called Stepping Stones, and I'm a clinician for the program. And basically we work with the children, kind of like an extension of the school day. It's an after-school program, working on social skills and some other lessons that sort of we prepare and work with the children. And each of the children have goals that they're meeting. And so we have treatment plans, and it's clinical, and it's also fun, and it's very rewarding.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I served a number of years on the board of Keystone Human Services, mm-hmm. and you know, we talked a lot about meaningful day. You know, how do we give, you know, that population, you know, meaningful things to do throughout the day?
Of course.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you. How do you work with them in this kind of environment?
So it's interesting. We are not on site any longer, but we do have a ratio and we work with a small number, small groups at a time. And we are working through Zoom. We're doing telehealth, and it's been challenging, but at the same time, it's working, and we make it work. And we have a lot of flexibility. We give breaks. It's hard because the children are coming from a full day of school and then joining onto our group. So it can be challenging, but we're making it work and we're making progress, and it's great.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to share stories today on Reading 365. We appreciate you greatly. And I see a special guest in the back there, Brooke. You're fantastic.
He's somewhere walking around.
We love when they make cameo appearances, right?
Yeah. He's a cutie. That's Mocha.
Thank you. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. We appreciate you greatly. We've learned a lot about Hanukkah, and we appreciate you.
Of course.
So I want to say, have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow on Reading 365. We're here every day until September 30th, 2021, sharing stories. So hope you guys will join us again. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.
You guys.